Let's discuss Katherine Mansfield's short story Bliss. We should know that Katherine Mansfield is an English writer who speaks of the difference between high social class and low social class in 20th century England. In this story, we come across a protagonist called Bertha Young, who is 30 years old, who is also mother of a child. She has a daughter called Entendu. Husband is Harry. She belongs to upper middle social class, mean that time rich social class that they don't have other problems regarding money. They have all the things they want. See here. Although Bertha Young was 30, she still had moments like this when she wanted to run instead of walk, to take dancing steps on and off the pavement, to bowl a hoop, to throw something up in the air and catch it again, and to stand still and laugh at nothing simply. Of course, this is a behavior that we can expect from a girl, small child, but Bertha being 30 years old, we can't expect such a rebellious, if not such a playful behavior from her. After that, she says she's always with absolute, absolute bliss, right? She's also quivering within her body, right? Oh, passionate. She's very much passionate, lusty. See here, the writer gives a symbol for that, right? We can, what can you do if you are 30 and turning of the corner of your own histories? You're overcome suddenly by a feeling of bliss, absolutely bliss, as though you had suddenly swallowed a bright piece of that late afternoon sun and it burnt in your bosom, sending out a little shower of sparks in every particle, in, into every finger and toe. That means we understand that she's extremely passionate. This afternoon sun is a very hot one. That sun, she has swallowed a piece, bright piece from that sun, and that bright piece is still in her bosom and scattering its rays through every part of her body, fingers, fingertips, like that. That means she's passionate. Now, uh, we have to apply that with that social class in this time, right? Where females were unemployed then, they were caged into houses only. It's a male chauvinistic society. Uh, After that, she says, the writer, narrator says it's impossible to speak of Bertha's behavior without being drunk and disorderly. Narrator is a female. Therefore, we understand that the female is attempting to express female feelings. Therefore, she wants to drink, otherwise, it's impossible to say. Bertha thinks that the civilization is idiotic civilization. We find blaming and criticizing, saying that how idiotic civilization is. Why be given a body if you have to keep it shut up in a case like Rare Rare Fiddle? This is a sexual problem. We come to know that Bertha, though married, she is not experiencing often sex with the husband. Husband is modern and they were modern thrilling friends and they are away from that part. Therefore, being higher social class woman, she wants that too, but there is no other way. She is also stricken to home and she has no other means of going out always. After that, she says, no, that's about the fiddle is not quite what I mean. She thought, running up the steps, feeling in her bag for the key. She had forgotten it, as usual, and rattling the letter box. It's not what I mean. Because, thank you, Mary. He went into the hall, each nurse bag. We also come to know that her house is filled with all the things she wants. She has nurses, she has other furniture, she has child, everything. She one time the servant asked, "Shall I switch on the light, madam?" She says, "No, I can see quite well." The writer also tells one thing in it that this social class, right, eyes can also see in darkness. They can see very well in the darkness. They are that far sharp and bright. Yes. But in her bosom there is still the bright glowing place, that shower of a little sparks coming from it. That means still she is passionate, right? She is passionate. After that we say we come to know that Bertha has brought several fruit items to decorate the table. She hasn't decided that the arrange is totally impromptu. She has also arranged a dinner party for friends, family friends. That's also one thing that this Bertha being a rich woman, she has full freedom to invite her friends at any moment she wants. She doesn't want any pre-preparation for that, right? Also fruit items so that what the wastage is it. She says when thrift. She has brought those fruit items to show her class dignity in her class how far she is rich. The table is full of fruit, grapes and all the things, cherry. But she has brought the fruit for another purpose also to torn the carpet in with this matching the carpet. We don't usually bring fruit items to match the carpet. He said, there were tangerine and apples stained with strawberry fink, some yellow pears smooth as silk, somewhat grapes covered with a silver bloom and a big cluster of purple ones. The last one she had brought to turn in with the new dining room carpet. Yes, that this sound rather far-fetched and absurd, but it was really why she had brought them. She had thought in the shop, I must have some purple ones to bring the carpet up to the table, and it had seemed quite sense at that time. That's the wastage writer shows how far this social class can waste their money for unnecessary things. After that, how she creates funds like this when she had finished with them and had made two pyramids of this bright round shape, she stood away from the table to get effect, and it really was most curious, for the dark table seemed to melt into the dusky light, and the glass dish and the blue ball to float in there. This, of course, in her present mood was so incredibly beautiful, she began to laugh. No, I'm getting hysterical. And she seized the bag and coat and ran upstairs to the nursery. Right, so this is the behavior of a child, girl. She's running here and there. Still, she's unbearable. She's unbearable because she's so passionate, extremely passionate. She has no way to get it released because husband is not falling into that. Right. We also come to know that being a mother, she's not familiar with feeding the child at least. When she goes to the nursery, a child, daughter, intend to springs up at her, but her nurse doesn't like it because nurse wants to feed, but Bertha can't do it. Nurse knows that Bertha can't do it. We also find Bertha, uh, yes, putting the whole a spoon into the child's mouth, then child doesn't like it. Other talks about them, the words or the content of their stories also merely useless. They are just nothingness. There is no any seriousness in it. Only one reality we can understand that there is a rich girl in front of the poor girl. Rich girl is Bertha's daughter and poor girl is nurse. We know that she always, Catherine Mansfield, in her short stories, talk about the difference between social classes. One best example in is that story, Garden Party. Garden Party, Laura for the first time comes to know that there are such sufferings in the world after the death of a Carter, if you have read that. Yes. And then the everything about them shining and transparent. There are no all things, every plates and all the things about the house are extremely shining, really shining. Her body is also shining and transparent. Yes, okay. Child's body is also like this. Everything about them is shining. We are told that she has husband is a modern one, but he's a nice friend, but there is only one thing. That means husband wife union doesn't occur between them. That's very rarely happening. That's why Bertha says that why should be why should the body be kept away like rare fiddle. Her body also rare fiddle which is not played in that case, but she wants it. Then another some curious things we find, that is that Bertha is finding girl called Pearl Fulton. We come to know that she generally falls in love with other girls, beautiful girls, whom have some curiosity about that. Yeah, it's not disservice for us to think that there is a homosexual connection between Bertha and Fulton. That's also a lesbianary affair. We can't reject it because with the information that we read here. Yes, but Harry also knows that here Harry we come to know that the scandalous husband because he also has an affair with that Fulton, but he pretends that he doesn't like. He's cunning because in front of his wife he tells that Pearl Fulton is a bad one. She can only eat, and he criticizes. But later, Bertha herself said, Harry, don't dislike her. She's very good to me. Being a wife, she's wrong because it is she who brings that beautiful woman. We come to know that this lady, Pearl Fulton, comes as a witch, full of silver, tilting her head one side because she's like a witch. She mesmerizes two characters. One is Bertha's husband, Harry, other one, the young poet, Eddie Warren. Bertha's life is also equated to a pear tree. There is a slender pear tree in the garden. That pear tree is full of uh, fruits, not petals, no faded petals, no flowers, no faded petals. Bertha's life is equated to that. We find Pearl Fulton telling her, "Your lovely pear tree, pear tree, pear tree." When opening the door, they could see that pear tree, and that occurs in the end also. That means everything about this woman is like a pear tree, full. It's interesting and yes, convincing to see. That means her body is also now ready for that, but passionate reaction. That means she wants to experience carnal pleasure with husband. That's what bliss, as your story says. Another bliss is carnal bliss, which she lacks in her life because they are modern. Family friends are also a rich one. They are talk and they are everything about them very immature. They don't have any seriousness in it. Eddie Warren is a young poet, and other one Norman Knights. Norman Knights are also talking very simple things that are not suitable to the modern society. There is no any depth in it, no seriousness. They are just jocular. Harry, we find distributing cigarettes. That means all kinds of cigarette. He has Virginia, Turkish like that. The writer showed the richness of that social class. But I can arrange uh, dinner parties whenever wants at higher expenses. Now we come to know that this impromptu dinner party has been designed to incite husband for carnal pleasure tonight. We find Bertha giving hint to that, saying, Harry, when we are in bed tonight, I will tell you. Now she is ready for that. Her body is ready, her mind is ready, her punch on, and yes, everything is ready. But finally, we come to know that husband is not ready. The yes, better part of this story is that husband falling in love with yes, well Fulton. At the end of the function, we find Fulton is ready to go, and Harry helping her to wear jacket. Harry speaks in loud voice just to pretend wife that he is away from some distance from that lady, but wife is seeing him talking to that woman, keeping his shoulder, yes, palms on shoulders, saying, I adore you. Lady say, hmm. The man say, tomorrow. Lady say, hmm. We find her just touching his cheek with moonbeam fingers. Everything is watched by, yes, Bertha from the behind. Now Bertha can do nothing because sometimes now we find Harry going from home, leaving home, thinking that he wants to close the shop. Actually, he doesn't go to close the shop. He wants to see this Pearl Fulton on the way. In the meantime, Eddie Warren is also following her. There are two persons following Fulton. Then Fulton comes here like a witch. Whose fault is that? Bertha's fault. It's Bertha who brings that woman, that girl home. And in addition to that, there is also another. a symbol for passion. And last we could see um, grey cat dragging its belly on plow, and black cat sees shadow trailing after it. That with that shadow, we come to know that something terrible about passion and lust may occur here. That's what finally we see between Pearl Fulton and Harry. Anyway, final result is that Bertha becomes helpless. Bertha knows that her husband has an affair with that lady now. Therefore, she thinks something will happen to her. Now, her desire, yes, readiness, everything lost now. Sometimes, perhaps he may join with her, join her tonight, attend her tonight. But there will be another problem. His mind is not concentrated to Bertha. His mind is concentrated to that beautiful girl, Pearl Fulton. The end of the story, we find Bertha really muttering to herself, "You lovely Beatrice, Beatrice, Beatrice," because she is helpless. She has no anything else to do. In this manner, we can understand what the writer speaks about here. He wants to say that there is social class behavior, their desires, their patterns, their styles, how they wishes, attitudes, all the things. Then on the side of Bertha, we come to know that she is helpless here. She can do nothing because there is no one for her friendship. Her only friendship, husband. That's why she has other girl as a friend